Lofts out to the right, breaks a tackle. They blitz it. Prescott throws it down the right side for Lamb. Caught it! Back to throw, rush, sacked by Parsons. Heaves it deep down the left side for Gallup. He's got it. Touchdown!
It's time for another edition of the Blitz, and this is like no other edition of the Blitz because we are recapping the 2022 National Football League Draft. What a weekend it has been here at the Star in Frisco. Bill Jones along with Kyle Youmans. You notice the smile on Kyle's face because he believes this has been a successful draft for the Cowboys, because he just told me that the Cowboys, their 9 draft picks, they took 5 of them off his top 100 right there.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And they addressed all the needs. That was the biggest thing. We talked about it on this show for weeks leading up to it. You needed an offensive line help, and you got that in the first round. You needed edge rusher help. You needed wide receiver depth. You needed offensive line depth on the back end. You did all of those things. You addressed it, and you got some value in the later picks of the draft, whether it be because of injury or because of a slip in terms of draft stock. But overall, you feel pretty good, I think, about what the Cowboys did this past weekend.
And, of course, it started in the first round. Tyler Smith out of Tulsa and North Crowley High School. The Cowboys' #1 draft pick at number 24 overall. And, Kyle, as you were monitoring that first round, and I don't know where you had Tyler Smith in your top 100, but you're watching 6 wide receivers come off the board in the first 18 picks, 6 offensive linemen as well. It looked like it might be slipping away as the phone was ringing in the war room, and yet there he is, Tyler Smith for the Cowboys to take at 24.
Yeah, he wasn't nearly as high as I would normally put a guy. I had him as a 1-2 grade, kind of one of those back and forth tweeners in terms of a first round or second round guy. But he is a developmental player that can play immediately. Don't get me wrong. He will probably start on this offensive line going into his rookie campaign. However, in terms of a future projection, he is as good as any of the offensive tackles in this class. He's still exceptionally young, 21 years of age, just turned 21 about 3 weeks ago. This is a guy who has a vibrant personality, a lethal work ethic. I mean, he is somebody who is a mauler on the football field and throughout an offseason program. He lights up the room from a personality standpoint. He absolutely wowed this coaching staff, this scouting department, and they came to a convergence that he was the best player available for them on their board. Actually, they had a first-round grade on him. I wouldn't go that far in terms of watching the film. There are some lapses, whether it's the holding penalties. He had 16 of them in his final collegiate season at Tulsa, and there's some fundamental side of things. But overall, I really do like the pick for Tyler Smith. I think he is a good play to the future and somebody who does help you on the offensive line right now.
You talk about his vibrant personality, how he lights up a room. Well, he's going to light up your TV screen coming up next. Hopefully. Here on the Blitz. Tyler Smith, the Cowboys' first-round draft pick, will join us in studio when the Blitz continues in just a moment.
The Blitz is brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by the Dallas Cowboys Football Club. This segment is brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
The 2022 Miller Lite Dallas Cowboys Draft Special presented by Ford continues now. Bill Jones now joined by the first-round draft pick of the Dallas Cowboys, the pride of North Crowley High School and Tulsa University, Tyler Smith. Welcome, Tyler. We appreciate you being here.
I appreciate you having me. How are you doing?
All right, you're making the grand tour of the Star. What do you think of this place?
Man, it exceeded my expectations. I had been one time just on like a little business visit, but like getting to tour the whole facility, like it's probably the best in the nation. It is the best in the nation.
There you go. You say it all the right things. All right, take me back to Thursday night. Okay, you're sitting there. Were you at home?
So 5 a.m., I woke up at 5 a.m. to fly back from Vegas because they were having an NFLPA event. So we go home and we see the first 10 picks. I saw the first 10 picks from my apartment. Like the watch party we were having was at an Airbnb, and my agent calls me. He's like, "You need to hurry, like, because you don't want to get drafted in the car." So we're speeding over there, but following the speed limit to get over there as fast as possible. We ended up getting over there, and we're just we're sitting in anticipation. I saw what pick 19 was. I knew I could possibly be the next man up on the board, and like. I see the Dallas Cowboys, they're on the clock. I see the pick is in. I see the star pop up on my phone. I'm just in shock at this point. There's a TV delay. Like, you don't see it on your phone until you see it on your phone. So I'll pick up the phone. Coach Jerry is on there. And, it was just crazy. It was a surreal moment. Like, for me, my family, like, it was just, the realization of a lot of hard work. So. The journey continues.
Has it hit you yet that you're a Dallas Cowboy playing for your hometown team?
Man, as I've been here, it's kind of hitting me more. Like, I woke up last night, like, literally almost in a sweat. I was like, man, like, was that real? Like, and I checked my phone. Like, I look at my bio again. I'm like, yeah, this is a Dallas Cowboy right there. So it's like, man, it's an honor. Like, I wouldn't have any other way. I'm extremely, like, in a blessed position because, not everybody gets to do this and not everybody gets to do it for their hometown. So just to see things come full circle is surreal to me, and it's truly a blessing.
Well, tell Cowboys fans what they're getting in Tyler Smith.
Man, y'all are getting everything. Like, I promise you, at the end of the day, my goal is to bring home a Super Bowl. My goal is to become the best player I could possibly be, contribute to this great organization. Like, there are so many guys here who are like, some of the best vets in the league. I seek to learn from them, emulate their game, take parts of their game and incorporate it into mine so we can continue trending the right way. And, when it's all said and done, I hope we have as many Super Bowl trophies added as we did when I came in here, if not more. So.
I know that the Cowboys have drafted players who have played at AT&T Stadium in high school before.
Yes, sir.
I don't know that they've drafted players who have played Pee Wee football games at AT&T Stadium before, but
yes,
you have.
Yes, sir, I did. So I played tournament football when I was 12 or 13, and we came out here for a game. Me and my teammate Scooby, I remember, and so we were hopping in the Red Salvation Army thing, like we were all hopping
just like
in.
Zeke.
Yeah, just like Zeke, but we didn't get fined for it. Thank God. But we were hopping in there, we were playing around. It was just it was surreal to be in there at the time because it was like brand new, and as a kid, like you never think one day I could play here, that was the goal, but like just for it to come full circle. It's just like crazy when I go back and think about those times as a kid. I was just playing tournament football.
So who's your all-time favorite Cowboy player?
All-time favorite it's got to be Larry Allen. Tyron Smith, current generation Tyron Smith right now, but Larry Allen, he's a legend. The things he did at Sonoma State, the adversity he went through growing up, and seeing the Hall of Fame career he had, the way he played, I see so many of the same things he does in myself, and I want to do them just as good as him one day, and not better. Those are some steep shoes to fill, but it's an honor to wear the number 73. I hope I can contribute to the program the same way.
Did you personally request 73?
I did personally request it. They told me, O-lineman, you got to wear anything from in the 70. We got to be 70 numbers. I saw 73 and I was like, it's only right. It's only right.
So what do you think of Tyler Smith maybe lining up as a rookie at left guard alongside perennial Pro Bowler Tyron Smith at left tackle? What do you think of that?
Man, that's crazy. Like I said, man, it's surreal for me. A lot of my teammates throughout the draft process, they were like, you go to the Cowboys, you're gonna be playing next to him, and he said, that's like, he said, y'all could be related. I said, I don't know about that, but man, just to be able to learn from him, be able to play next to him, it's just, it's surreal for me. It's truly an honor. That's a vet, and I hope to, learn from him and incorporate things in this game into my own.
You've talked about what Larry Allen had to overcome in order to realize his dreams. What are some of the things you've had to overcome to get to this point?
Man, in high school, I had my procedure, man, and a lot of college teams, they kind of lost interest. They didn't believe the same way I did, and just working back from that and getting even better than I was before, just it revitalized my love for the grind, my love, to shine through adversity and just to, be standing in here before you, like, you know, it's just a testament to what, you know, the man above could do for you, like, if you're willing to do for yourself. And, you know, I tell any other kid out there, you know, if they want to sit here, like, you can do it. Like, you know, I know a lot of kids go through adversity. You know, a lot of them will have things outside of their control happen, but, you know, you can achieve anything you want to if you put forward a great body of work. I truly believe that.
And what's your goal your rookie year?
Goal rookie year, I just want to contribute to the team, man. You know, I love to start. You know, I love to play, but, you know, first and foremost, I need to, you know, I want to learn. You know, I want to get better, and, you know, I want to contribute. So that's kind of what I'm looking for this rookie year.
All right. We appreciate it. Good luck to you. It's great to have you here. You're fitting in just fine here at the Star Frisco.
Man, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Tyler Smith, the first-round draft pick of the Cowboys, and we take a look at the rest of the Cowboys draft, and we come back in a moment here on the Draft Special.
This segment was brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
Blitz continues here. Bill Jones with Kyle Youmans as we now break down what happened on day 2 of this National Football League draft. Of course, the Cowboys picking at number 56 in the second round. The needs, after getting the offensive lineman in the first round, you wanted a pass rusher, you wanted a wide receiver. They got both on day 2. Let's start with the second round pick, Sam Williams out of Ole Miss, Kyle.
Yeah, second round grade on him. On my board, they had the same thing on their board as a second team All-American. He was a first team All-SEC player and someone that the Cowboys were linked to all the way throughout this draft process. It had gone all the way back till the early days of the Senior Bowl. He was a late addition to the Senior Bowl roster. Really did impress a lot of scouts during his time down in Mobile. Even though he was only there for one practice, he played as a reserve in the bowl or in the actual bowl game. Off the field stuff drove his draft stock down. That's basically the biggest thing. He was arrested on a felony sexual battery back in the early parts of his Ole Miss tenure. That has since been dropped. He has not been charged with anything, and nor do the Cowboys believe that there is any repercussions coming to him or any off-the-field consequences coming his way. They think that that was in the past, in the rearview mirror, and if that's the case, he's the all-time leading sacks man at Ole Miss, a team and a program that has been known to have solid defenses. He is a monster in terms of getting to the pass rusher. Might have been a first-round pick if not for the off-the-field issues. Cowboys were able to scoop him up in the second at 56. They had their eye on him early, and they were able to get their guy.
And by the way, that's 12.5 sacks last year as a 5 technique in a 3-man front defensively. So it's going to be very interesting to see what he can do in Dan Quinn's defense. So perhaps he's the replacement for Randy Gregory. What about a replacement for Amari Cooper? Well, of course, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, they move up the depth chart here, but the Cowboys needed a wide receiver in the third round out of South Alabama. It's Jalen Tolbert.
And I really like Jalen Tolbert's game a lot. Now, if you're expecting him to be the Amari Cooper replacement, that's not necessarily the case. This is the CeeDee Lamb as wide receiver 1, Michael Gallup as wide receiver 2. Here's Jalen Tolbert as a wide receiver 3 that could get wide receiver 1 or 2 upside at some point throughout his career. He will come in, and without Michael Gallup potentially ready for those first couple weeks of the regular season, Jalen Tolbert will play the Michael Gallup role, a deep threat, great route runner, heady football player who understands defensive coverages and can go up and get a contested ball. He adds another element to this offense that hasn't necessarily been there. He brings good route running, which of course they're lacking without Amari Cooper, but he does have that go up and get it mentality, that separation that you create from a guy like Michael Gallup. I think this is a guy that fits Dak Prescott well as a pass catcher and somebody who I think will make an impact in year 1.
82 catches, 8 touchdowns, nearly 1,500 yards receiving his last year at South Alabama. Kind of a late bloomer, but you can really tell in talking to Robert Prince, the Cowboys' new wide receivers coach, he really loves this guy.
Absolutely, and he loves the IQ. He was talking about the test that he had prior to the draft process or during the draft process that he not only aced but almost perfected along the way. He knows his football, and he knows the playbook. He knows the defenses that he's going to go up against. Another thing on it, you mentioned as a late bloomer, he still had Power 5 offers. There were Power 5 programs that were looking at Jalen Tolbert. He elected to stay closer to home and play at South Alabama. One of the reasons why he played with the Jaguars, and then he goes out and he sets the Sun Belt single-season school record or a program or conference record in terms of receptions. He's done a great job of building his worth even at a Group of 5 school.
All right, we're going to hear from the head coach when we come back. back here on the Blitz. Mike McCarthy talking about that first-round draft pick. And we are now joined by Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy. We talk about the process of the whole draft, and there's so much work that goes into it. We've been on the road with an area scout. We've gone to pro days, the combine and everything, getting a behind-the-scenes look. It really is amazing how much work goes into this, isn't it?
I mean, it's incredible. I mean, if you go all the way back to, the beginning of the year, especially knowing this class was going to be, significantly large, probably the largest in the history as far as the number of players graded, just with the pandemic and, the portal, just all the different factors that go into. You're grading players that are 20 years old all the way up to 25 years old. So it's a different year, but the volume was incredible. And I just can't say enough about our personnel department. There's so much work that goes into that, both, obviously in-house, but, a special thank you to the men that hit the road. I think that, the guys that are out there, on the road and getting the first-hand looks, really having the information right, and then from my personal perspective, the chance to go to the pro days and really see these scouts operate in their area, just so impressed. So thankful for all the great work, but now it's the time to watch it come together, and hopefully we get blessed with some lady luck and we get the guys that we want.
And from your perspective, being out at the pro days and everything, and when you get back here in the meeting rooms, when you've had hands-on experience seeing these guys, that really helps, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. I think it's like anything. When you're there in person, and been in the league a long time, and there's other relationships, and and frankly, being on the road with with another coach, or being on the road with Will, just the time that you get to spend just in transportation alone, the extra conversations, those are all so important. But the most important is to see these players in their environment, to see them interact, and also, you get better information being there in person. So I think going to the pro days the last 2 years, I know for me personally, has been very beneficial.
And you take it up to draft day, and a local product gets selected number one out of North Crowley High School. Tyler Smith, the offensive tackle from Tulsa University. It's a great feeling when you see these kids' dreams get realized on draft day.
Oh, no doubt about it. It's such a big day for all these young men, and now Tyler's, his opportunity to play for his hometown team. Just to grow up in Fort Worth, be drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. So obviously a very special moment. Obviously a great opportunity for him, but he's an excellent addition to our offensive line room.
So what are we getting in Tyler Smith?
Well, we're getting a young, talented offensive lineman that's a great fit for us, but it gives you position flex, and and I think some of the things he doesn't have in place from a fundamentals and technique standpoint, to me, even makes it more exciting, because we can really start from the ground zero, which you would with all these guys, and just build his menu of footwork and hand placement and those types of things. And I think this young man has a very, very bright future in front of him.
It has position flexibility there, so how will you work it as far as getting him reps at both left tackle and left guard?
Well, he'll be a left side player, and that's I think that's the best thing, not only for him, but it's the best thing for our offensive line. So he'll be able to work both at the left guard position and the left tackle. I think with Tyron, where he is in his career, it's even if this didn't happen, we'd still be repping Tyron probably in the 40-45% range, and then obviously the opportunity they'll have to compete with Connor at left guard. So he'll have plenty of work to do.
Our thanks to Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy, and up next here on the Blitz, we break down the day 3 draft picks of the Cowboys.
The Blitz was brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
We've talked about what the Cowboys did the first 2 days of the draft. You can really make your draft if you can compete on day 3. And at the top of the list there, Jake Ferguson, a tight end out of Wisconsin. Barry Alvarez's grandson, Mike McCarthy, really wanted a tight end. He got one to start the day Saturday.
Yeah, they really looked at a couple of guys in that spot. But Jake Ferguson, a guy who stood out at the Senior Bowl, who stood out throughout as a tough, edgy mentality out of Wisconsin. They really liked that pick at 129. This was a day full of traits and value. Look at Matt Waletzko out of North Dakota, the offensive tackle. He was a top 150 player for me, so this was a good value at 155. Big, beefy, overall player at the offensive tackle spot. Probably not going to play a whole lot in his first couple years, but in terms of the future, he is going to provide depth for that offensive line. And then I had 2 top 100 players taken. Damone Clark from LSU, the linebacker, who had a neck injury. That's why he fell. And then John Ridgway, the defensive tackle out of Arkansas. Both of those guys are really heady football players. I expect them to be in the rotation as soon as they're able to get on the football field.
And we can't wait to see these guys here at the Star in Frisco. That will happen very soon. Rookie minicamp. For Kyle Youmans, I'm Bill Jones. We appreciate you joining us here for the Blitz, and we will see you again next week.